What's a crisis?
I think it's one of those
engine.
games you play at the arcade with the guns that are attached to it.
That's
like Time
wrong.
Crisis.
You guys are gonna be mad at me? I didn't record the screen, just my audio. That's okay.
All right, well, cut in the video. Casual Panic. Cut in the video now.
We want to be professional YouTubers.
That's a good segue, right? We're segging into the I don't know, actually. I don't know how to do these things. I keep looking that way at my new monitor.
Don't.
Keep
Oh,
looking
okay.
this way. I just keep looking at the
don't do
different
that.
in colors. Anyways, welcome to Casual Panic Podcast. Is this a podcast episode? We're doing something different. We're showing our faces for once. Have they all seen our faces?
This is the face reveal. Like, as in the first. Wait, no. Well, we've live streamed, but
Technically,
we've never done a
we've
recorded
live
thing.
streamed.
Put in the comments
yeah.
which one's the ugliest and why you think it's Duffy.
All right, welcome to the J&J podcast.
JJ motherfucker.
My mic.
J. Jonah Jameson. So yeah, I just thought that this might be a good opportunity. I mean, we started Casual Panic doing podcasts, and then we were like, hey, let's make videos. And I don't know, 2020 hit, and then we were like, well, we didn't die from COVID, so we're doing good. So let's make it. Let's round up the year and just talk about things that we like to talk about. And I think we like to play video games. Sometimes.
I, for one, am a huge fan of Blidio games.
Fake gamer.
He's a fake gamer.
Off topic, real quick. Mandalorian's been great. Okay, I'm done.
Haven't seen that yet. Haven't got my. Haven't
Baby
got
Yoda
my
kills
Disney
everyone at the
Plus.
end.
I haven't gotten my Disney Plus trial to blow through the whole thing in like 2 weeks. So
Okay.
I will do it eventually.
Okay. Sure.
The guy's a Mandalorian. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
I like your face.
Now I'm not even gonna watch it. I already know what happens. So why would I even watch it?
All right. I guess we should. How do we usually do this with topics? Let me look at my phone at the topic lists.
Yeah.
Or like we should do the bottomics.
What?
I did.
Wait, there's topics. and there's
Are we just
bottomics.
trying to get all the bad jokes out before the year's over? Is that what's happening?
I'm sorry. Bad jokes? Did you say bad jokes?
Sorry, dad jokes.
These are hitting
Dad
hard.
jokes.
These are hitting harder than my dad.
Video games 2020 game of the year. What do we got going on?
Mine is definitely gonna have to be Fortnite.
Yeah.
I just think that it's a game that really did well on its first year out during 2020.
So just give it every year game of the year until it's gone.
I think it really put Fortnite put Master Chief into the mainstream. It really made people.
It's true.
Put him into the spotlight, and people really like Master Chief now because
Well,
of.
hold on a sec. That built better hype than the latest Halo reveal trailer.
That's because Halo
That's
is
true.
a fucking awful franchise now.
Hey, come on.
It's disappointing.
I don't know if I could
343's doing their best.
for a serious answer. If it comes to Game of the Year, I don't know if I could give you an answer to that. Because before we started filming this video, I went through all the video games that I've played this year, and it's like 3.
Wow.
I've played FIFA
I
21.
can give my small game of the year that I'm still playing is
Sample size that matters. Go ahead.
Ghost Runner.
Wow.
Has been fun every time I play it. I'm not
that's
the
that,
best
like,
at it.
Parkour sword fighting game, right?
Yeah, imagine it's
Better
like
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk mixed with Mirror's Edge, and you just do that the whole time with a cyber ninja sword and really cool abilities and slow-mo, and I'm like, this is just fun. I'm not great at it. I retry levels all the time because I just keep messing it up because I want to perfect it and make it look cool. But like everything I've been playing so far too, like the way they tell the story is just being told over like voice communication with
Yeah.
sort of like your guide. and it's fun. There's little twists everywhere. Certain bosses are like crazy, and I've never had a bad moment.
How does the boss system work if it's all like one-shot kills? Is it one-shot kills? Like every enemy just dies in one shot, you die in one shot?
No. So like, I want to say I'm like 3/4 through the game, but like at one point I came across a boss where I had to learn every single thing they did after different stages.
Mm-hmm.
Where once I finally got a hit, they'd jump to a different spot, and I had to make my way to them, and I'd have to learn their different move set for that next stage. And if you didn't get that right, you'd have to restart from the beginning, and there were like 4 or 5 of them.
So it was still a one-shot, just you had to one-shot them in each phase?
Yeah, I had to not die, because I die in one hit every single time. So I just had to get that one hit, send them to the next stage, and keep going. And I think I took longer than I probably should have, but it was cool. It was like I was fighting my own type of character, all that stuff, and everything else has just been really cool to see. But yeah, I thought it was fun. I think it's really fun. That's my little personal game of the year, because I haven't really been able to give like a game of the year to anything specifically. And I actually have a little gripe with games that have come out in the past year or two,
Which
I was going to bring up. Well, so I played on the PS4. I went and I never played it all the way through and finished it. I started playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and every game in 2020 looks worse than that game, in my opinion. And I'm like, why?
That game,
it's so good.
That's kind of true.
I played that game on PS Now on PC up to the point where it told me that I needed a PlayStation 5 controller, and I had to stop.
Oh,
or PlayStation 4
when did it
controller.
tell you?
You needed that big rectangular button in the middle.
Yeah.
And I don't have a PlayStation controller, so I couldn't get past that part of the game.
It's on Steam.
What?
I played that game on Steam when it came out earlier this year.
Oh yeah, I played it on like the PlayStation Now thing, so it's supposed to be like a PlayStation game.
Yeah,
they expect you to have a PlayStation controller. My plan is to just like play all these games late and just buy a PS5 eventually, and then just play all those games like Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon, The Last of Us 2, Fortnite, all the good games on PlayStation.
PlayStation has all the good games.
Yeah, but that was the thing, is like I played Horizon and I hadn't played it through before. I think I played a couple minutes before I just didn't get the chance to really commit time to it. And I was like, you know what? I'll just do it now. And I started playing that, like playing between that and Valhalla, which Valhalla was a great game. It obviously had some little issues in my opinion, but when I played Horizon and looked at the visuals between the two, I was like, I don't think there's much of an improvement in 2020, which I understand there's new consoles that came out and all that, but it was such a bummer, because I remember I tried, like, it's all about optimization as well. And they just understood what they were doing when they made a game like Horizon. And it's just like, people act like you can't make a beautiful game on the Xbox One and PS4 gens. But if you look at God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn, it's like you kind of can if you take the time and do it right.
It's insane, the level of detail that like those PlayStation games, like, I mean, God of War was Game of the Year, 2 years ago? And The Last of Us won Game of the Year this year, so to segue into my Game of the Year, I played the hell out of Ghost of Tsushima this year, and my God, what a game. That is probably the best PlayStation game I've played. Like, The Last of Us, the first one, probably had the most lasting impact on me, but Ghost of Tsushima this year, man, that was a good game. And I was kind of bummed out to hear that The Last of Us 2, with so much controversy behind it, and like, I guess that doesn't necessarily dictate if a game's good or not, but clearly the fans wanted Ghost of Tsushima to be the game of the year, to hold the coveted title of, game of the year. So it's like, I was kind of like, and then like you're watching the Game Awards and it's like, Last of Us 2 wins for best music, Last of Us 2 wins for, I don't know, there was like 2 or 3 other things I can't remember. I'm just like, and then who's going to be Game of the Year? Oh, The Last of Us 2. It's like, it was a good game. I liked it, but I just feel like Ghost of Tsushima was way better. Like,
yeah,
I remember
saying to you, I was like, I have not heard a single complaint about Ghost.
Yeah.
But I've heard much controversy around Last of Us 2. And I think that should, even if the game's well put together, there's still, it proved that the gaming community was not happy with how it turned out. They were split, at least. It's like, that's why you don't give like best movie award to Last Jedi when so many people were
talking
whether
about?
or not they liked it, because that means that it wasn't a well-made thing. Like, there was issues that they brought.
Yeah,
And
how can
Last did the
something
same.
be the best if it's not a borderline unanimous consent that it's good?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
It's that-
people
it's
don't,
like
people
that-
don't eat like chocolate who aren't allergic to it and go
Yeah.
I fucking hate it, and then people are like, oh, it's voted best candy of all time, and like half the people in the world hate it.
Yeah. It's like
It's a
that,
bad
for
example,
me,
but like
it feels like Ghost has to deal with the issue that you'll see in like that Futurama episode where Bender meets like God in space. And he says,
Yeah.
sometimes when you do everything right, it's almost as if you've done nothing at all. And that's sort of what happened to Ghost of Tsushima, is like they did everything right and no one batted an eye, so it just went out of their memory when this stuff happened,
Yeah.
except for all the fans.
Speaking of Futurama, doesn't the top of my thing look like the Satan guy from
Oh, the
One
stab
of the robots.
guy or
yeah,
whatever.
the stabby
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah.
It does
I
kind
see
of
what
look
It's a
like
you're
rowing
him. I
machine
forget his
that I use
name.
sometimes. I don't know, Stabby.
Stabs for short.
Stabby McStabberson.
Stabby McStabberson.
Stabber. There's Bender, Stabber,
Oh,
Fry.
but yeah.
Prancer, Vixen, Rudolph, Daddy, Master Chief.
Ghost of Sushi.
Sushi.
That's what we've been calling it for short, and I like doing that.
Dude, it's like with that game, like even like Japanese developers are like, because it was made by Sucker Punch, who was like American studio, and they just kind of were like went super Japan history nerds and just like made a Japanese game based on the Mongol invasion, and like even Japanese developers were like, wow, like this is like the best representation of like feudal Japan in a video game that we've ever made. Which, I mean, let's talk about Japanese developers. Their games aren't necessarily realistic, I would say, most of the time. But
Are you saying Genshin Impact? Actually, is that Chinese?
I think that's
It's Chinese, I'm pretty sure.
it might be Chinese.
What about Sekiro?
Sekiro's Japanese.
Yeah.
That's probably,
Are
but
you
even
telling me
then,
all
like
those
that's
characters aren't realistic.
hey,
Come
Sekiro
on.
won my Game of the Year. Oh, it did win Game of the Year 2019.
Are you saying Animal Crossing isn't based on a true story?
Did Animal Crossing come out this year?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it was a contender for Game of the Year.
March 20th.
I mean, I'd even.
Unprofessional.
I'm gonna put my
son
phone
of
on
a
silent
bitch.
now. But
It's okay.
I would
I'm
even
eating
like.
Cheez-Its.
I just think The Last of Us 2 got way too much hype, and I think that's the reason why it kind of won Game of the Year. It was like, oh, it was the most anticipated Game of the Year, and it's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean it was the
But you could play guitar
best
in
Game
it.
of the Year.
How's it not Game of the Year?
That's true. Yeah. Now he's got a point.
I just heard too many complaints about the story not being how people wanted, and I'm like, well, that's a writing thing, and that should affect Game of the Year.
I agree.
So
But they're like, oh, well, it's it was a brave. You know what? I'll give the writer. It was a brave story to write. Like to just be like, hey, we're gonna write this story, and it's like, okay, people aren't gonna like that, but okay. And then they did it, and it's like, hey, people didn't like it, and it's like, well, we're brave to write it, and it's like, well, people didn't like it. And I think that's the number one thing with your games is you want people, like you as a developer probably want to do what you want to do, right? But you also want to make something that people like, and that's the thing with Neil Druckmann is he's just like, I'm this really cool guy who writes stories, and it's like, well, I don't know. That's just me. Ghost of Tsushima. That's my Game of the Year.
yeah, I get it. And Hoda, did you have a final Game of the Year besides WoW?
Shadowlands.
I don't even think I can give it to Shadowlands. Like, I don't think I have a Game of the Year because like I haven't played enough. Like I've played, the new
FIFA.
Shadowlands expansion for WoW.
Valorant.
It's very
21.
good. The WoW expansion is very good. I've been playing it a lot, but it's it's just more WoW. It's not anything groundbreaking.
Does it make you say wow?
Leave.
I'm just making sure my
Go.
phone's on silent so people don't
Go.
hit me up again.
Just
No, I think you're getting a call. Go ahead and take it.
hang. Yeah, I think you're getting a call. It's
Ellie.
it's your mom telling you that you were a mistake. I'm just kidding. You're a
Wow.
wonderful human. I love you. I mean, like, FIFA 21 again. It's just more FIFA. I haven't played it that much lately because they I don't understand what the fuck they're doing with that game. It's ridiculous. They're
That's
literally
just an EA
taking players in that game and they're making new cards for them that are different positions and completely different stats than what they are like in real life. And so it's like they're just like, hey, we're just gonna take everything that exists in real life and fuck it. Just do whatever we want.
Yeah, it's just
just-
EA. Aside
It just
from
makes it not fun.
aside
like, I'm trying
from
to play a game.
Respawn, it's like everything else EA is just gonna be weird.
Yeah, it's like people play FIFA or Madden or whatever because when they play as a certain player, like if I play as, I don't fucking know, Ronaldo, I'm gonna play like Ronaldo. If I play with Messi, he's gonna play like Messi. Like, I don't want to play as Messi, but have him somehow have like 99 strength and he's like the strongest person in the world. Lionel Messi's like 5'8" or something. Like, he's tiny. But I don't know. It doesn't make any
He's
sense.
built like some cottage
what they're
cheese.
doing.
Yeah, you tell them.
Good.
Yeah, tell him.
How? Okay, well then, aside from best game of the year, what was your biggest flop?
Flop. Well, there was that one date that I went on. Didn't go very well.
You have
no,
a therapist
Jason,
for that.
Let's
No,
let
no,
him
he has a
finish that up,
therapist.
Jason.
Just two opposing opinions.
Should we consider Cyberpunk to be allowed to be on that because it was such a late thing and a weird messy mess?
It's allowed, but I don't know.
Is
Go ahead.
it? It depends on how you define a flop. Because if you define a flop as a financial failure, I think that's obviously not the case because they're probably made fuck tons of money. But at the same time, like, PlayStation took it off of their store and were refunding people because of how much of a fuck. What's the word?
You can swear, it's fine.
Clusterfuck. Clusterfuck is the word I wanted.
Charlie Foxtrot.
So much of a clusterfuck the game was when it came out. Like, there's just so many glitches, which are hilarious, by the way. I've been watching videos of all those glitches, and they're fucking hilarious. Like, I watched one where a guy's like, oh, I can summon my vehicle, right? And he summoned a vehicle, and it just came out of frame and just fucking flew across the screen and hit some other car. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I remember I sent one to Jason where a guy bought a really nice, brand new, expensive car in the game, and he walked up to the car to get into it, and the car just rolled over him and killed him. and that was it.
I remember that. I remember that.
I was like, this game's interesting. I personally was one of the people that went and got a refund for now. I was like, I'll wait for them to fix stuff.
Yeah, I never bought it because I wanted to wait. This is why... Hold up. For a minute, let's talk about pre-orders. Fuck pre-orders. I'm never doing them again because of this. Every single person was like, oh, it's CD Projekt Red. They're not going to fuck this up. There's no way they could do something like Anthem or like countless other games that have come out which have been complete failures because they promise one thing and then they deliver a completely different thing. And so I was like, everyone's like, no, just pre-order it. It'll be fine. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait until I see how the game is. And boy, was I fucking right. I'm always right. For those of you listening, Joda's always right. Listen to Joda. I'm waiting until the game... I'm waiting until things get patched in... That might be a while before they patch everything out, but if I'm going to play the game, I want it to be what they promised me. I want it to be a working game that I'm going to enjoy the whole time without having to be like... Without having to make excuses for it. Like, you shouldn't have to make excuses for good games.
Oh, speaking of that, I just realized a game that I'm bundling into 2020 because it wasn't recognized in the 2019 Game Awards.
Don't say Fortnite.
Never mind. Jedi Fallen Order was not recognized in 2019 because it came out so late in 2019.
That's
so
true.
I'm actually going to put that as I actually will consider that my game of the year because I had no complaints. I love it.
I'm with you then because I fucking love that game.
Yeah.
It made you feel like a Jedi. Like, that was how cool it was.
That's some of the best Star Wars writing in the Disney era. So
It was just great. Like, you weren't overpowered either. Like, you were definitely, like, you felt like a Jedi in training. Even so much as, can we talk about the last moment in the game?
Yeah, spoilers if anyone hasn't finished it, but it's been over a year, so go ahead
Somebody
and get ready
who
to, like,
hates
pause
sand
it.
shows up.
He's black.
Mace Windu?
I looked at the one in front of me and over there.
So yeah, Darth Vader shows up, and that was amazing. But it also wasn't like ridiculous for him to show up.
Yeah.
And you can say your favorite part about it, Jason, because I know you mentioned it to me a while back.
Yeah. No, I just like that, like, because, like, I don't know, you look back on Star Wars games and The Force Unleashed, like, yeah, you were really powerful. For those who played it, you played as Darth Vader's secret apprentice, who he trained. But at the end of the game, you have the choice to beat him. And I'm just thinking there, like, I don't know, like, he could really beat Darth Vader? Like, they just made this really overpowered character. The reverse happens in Fallen Order, where you face Darth Vader, but the game literally is like, you go to the bio of Darth Vader, and it's like, you cannot beat him. Run.
This is at the end of the game. Like, you're as powerful as you can be. And they're like, you still can't even hold a candle to this motherfucker. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. That's what I loved about it, is just you feel so in a fantasy land, in a sci-fi world, you feel grounded in realism of, I can't do this. I need to get the fuck out.
I think it was a really good, the whole game in general was a good example of the power differences in video games and also in the Star Wars universe. Like, the game starts you out, like we said, you're very weak. You have, like, no abilities. You can die very easily. But then as you level up and as you progress, you get more and more powers, and you feel like you are growing as a character. And by the end, you're just fucking, everything that you were having trouble with before is just super easy, or it's at least, you know, you can have so many things, you can just handle them with relative ease. But then right at the end, I mean, the last boss fight in general is pretty difficult. So, like, you understand there's a power difference between you and the last boss. But then when Darth Vader shows up, you still, after everything, cannot hold a candle to this guy. And that just kind of tells you, like, even with all that training, there are still people who are way more powerful than you. Yep.
And I want to say that I'm happy that game wasn't too open world. I was actually, like, I'm someone that I don't mind an open world game, but I love when a game is linear enough for me to get through it and be able to talk with people about the story I experienced, even if it's similar to everyone else. So I'm so happy that it was one of those games that I could sit through like I'm playing an awesome Star Wars movie Jedi thing. And I loved that about the game too. So at the end of the day, that wins my game of the 2 years. Technically.
The 2 years.
But it's 2020.
I feel that.
So I thought it was great. I want them to take that actor and turn him into a TV show. But they're not going to do that.
I mean, he is in a TV show.
He's in a few TV shows.
Yeah.
Shameless. He's in
Shameless,
Gotham.
right?
Yeah, I knew him from Shameless, so it was kind of weird seeing the guy
He's very different.
who had gay sex all the time as this Jedi character. I was like,
he goes into Shameless. I was hoping you'd do the joke of, like, it was so weird seeing him have gay sex all the time as a Jedi, and then he goes into Shameless.
It's like, there's a whole lot of gay sex in Fallen Order. 9.5
Turns out the Jedi Order was a different order than we thought, you know?
Yeah.
So he was in that, and Gotham is the other recognizable one. And
he was the Joker, right? Or is the Joker?
Like young
Joker
Joker or something.
I never watched that show, so.
I didn't either. I just know from trailers. So, haha, Jason, not a spoiler. Trailers.
Trailer, I hardly know her.
Wow.
Ha! But yeah, so that's my Jedi wins. My flop is, I want to say, because I actually have heard barely anybody talk to me about the game, is Watchdogs Legion. I actually really liked... So I liked Watch Dogs 2 a lot. I thought the first one was fine too. And I was gonna get the new one, and I decided not to. And then people started sharing videos of how you could jump off a 50-story building into the river, and nothing happens. You just sort of just land and then float away, and not even a splash of water. And like some of the people's faces were worse than the ones in the Spider-Man far off in the boat thing. So it was like one of those games where it's like a personal flop for me because I was excited to play it. I drifted away from it for some reason, and I haven't heard a single person try to convince me to get it. So that's my personal like AAA flop that I hope will be worth getting eventually. So
yeah, for me, I'm in the realm of, hey, Cyberpunk is actually a pretty good game I've been playing. But I have a decent enough PC to play that, and like I can understand someone's frustration of buying it on Xbox One and PS4 and being like, hey, I just got swindled. This game doesn't fucking work. I mean, Glow, he plays it and he's like, it's kind of rough around the edges, but it works and it's okay. Like he likes it enough. So he's kind of a rare instance where someone played it on Xbox and is having a decent time with it. He did kind of struggle if he wanted to return it, but for me on PC, I'm having a good time. So like for me personally, if I had to say the game that flopped the hardest, I guess I'd have to give it to Cyberpunk just because of now they're going through the court case and stuff like that. Like the company's actually in hot water because of the game. Personally, I think that's because of just how much recognition the game had. Like if this was a random indie game title that cost half as much on Steam, you wouldn't even hear about it. But because this was CD Projekt Red, they had all everyone pre-orders, everyone waiting 8 years for this game, they gotten a lot of issues. So yeah. I can agree. But I do think that there were worse games technically that came out, or even games that may have worked fine but were bad in concept. And for me, that goes to the Avengers game that came out earlier this year that no one is playing anymore.
I changed my answer. You're right. Okay. Yep.
I played the beta and I was like, this is kind of repetitive and boring. I didn't buy the game because the beta gave me bad impressions, but I don't think I need to know that it's not a good game. And I've watched a lot of videos online with people talking about it, and all I hear is like, yeah, they tried to monetize the fuck out of the Avengers. Like they were like, let's put the Avengers skin on, make this like really cool like Division Borderlands loot system where it's a looter shooter, but make it an Avengers game, and then also charge you up the ass for cosmetics, leveling, things like that. So my only fun time I had with the game in the beta was when I was playing as the Hulk, and that was because it reminded me of like the PS2 Hulk era games that where you could literally just smash things up, and like I was like, all right, this is kind of fun.
Those were very good.
Yeah. The one great thing I heard about the game was that what's the name of the younger superhero character that they brought into it?
Oh, Miss Marvel. I think
Miss Marvel. I think so. Yeah. Who can like with the giant stretch in her hands and stuff. Yeah. All that. Oh. I heard that she was a great addition to the game story-wise, and I respect that completely. But everything else I've seen from gameplay and all that, I'm like, this looks like a game that would have come out as a release with a movie, which is never a good sign. Like, it looked more like a movie video game than it did just a well-made Marvel game. So
almost like a shitty mobile game.
Yeah, it just looked weird, and I was like, I'd rather just keep telling people to play Spider-Man, because then you'll get a really good gaming experience. Yeah. So, and the Spider-Man games fall into that realm, too, of great games. But yeah, I'll let Marvel Avengers be my new flop.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything happening with the game, and I don't know what the future is. That's the other thing. Like, they're just like, you go on like the Steam charts, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I know like they're like lower than other games that have been around for like a long time. You know what I mean? Like you expect a new game to have some level of people playing it, but yeah, it's not doing good. Not at all.
Yeah. What do you hate, Hoda?
Life.
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch better have my money.
Mitch, don't kill my vibe.
Do you have any flop? If not, we can move on.
I mean, I agree with Avengers, but like, I didn't play that. I didn't play Cyberpunk. Like, so I don't really have like a flop game of 2020.
Yeah.
Also, just we're at 30 minutes now, or 3 minutes of recording. That includes like the beginning where you were like, I'm not recording the screen.
Oh yeah. I mean, we can. The last thing I want to talk about is like, I don't know. It's been kind of a rough year. I think gaming really helped a lot of people not lose their minds. I mean, I I've probably gamed the same amount as I usually do. I mean, this is the first year I got a PC, so I played a lot of new PC games that I never had the chance to when I was on Xbox. But I guess for me, I like to look back on like the biggest gaming moment, like I don't know, like something that happened in gaming that just kind of it sticks to you that happened this year. And for me, it was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which I know that seems like so like arbitrary, but like just playing it and like hearing the theme song from like back in the day, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 was like probably one of the first 3 games I ever played in my entire life. And I was just like, wow, like I'm playing this game again 20 years later, and it's just like, it just hit me, you know? It's like, wow, like they did a really good job with this. It was fun. And I had a blast, and it just kind of like, it was like, wow, I feel like a kid again. I'm just kind of like in my own little cocoon, just shredding gnar.
Shout out to my boy Mike Hogan for making that game.
Thanks, Mike.
One of my friends
Mike.
worked on that.
Also, shout out to Jason, making me look like a fool in that game because I'm not good at it.
Oh yeah,
You made me look.
That was trash. Love Tony Hawk. Thank you.
It was like, oh yeah, let's go do the like who can get the highest score thing. We joined like a public game, and first of all, we joined one where a guy literally won the game in 10 seconds.
Oh,
and we were like, okay, well that might have been a hacker. And then we played another one with you, and you were
Some people are
like,
insane at those games. Like,
yeah, but
ridiculous.
then the guy got like 11 million points, and then Jason in the next round was like, normal would have been like what, like 500,000 points maybe.
See, on average, I mean, I play with a lot of people who play Tony Hawk, but like that guy was insane. I don't know. Wherever you are, person, good for you if you did that legit. If you're a hacker, I don't know. If you have to hack in a Tony Hawk game, that's kind of sad.
TV woman.
But then we go and play, and Jason would be like 200,000 points short of that guy's stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm just bad. I'm like, I did an ollie, guys! Yay! I did a kickflip. I can grind for 5 seconds. Yeah, no, that game was fun.
Jason, I mean, like, going off of what Jason was saying about, like, this year has definitely been something that people didn't expect was going to happen. And for a lot of us, video games was the escape. Video games and alcohol. But, I don't drink. I don't know about you guys. I definitely never drink alcohol, ever. I just, I usually try
Jason
to
literally didn't see you moving the alcohol across the screen.
I haven't done that at all. But I think that video games has been a really good escape for a lot of people because we've had to stay inside. For me, it was either golf or video games is what I was doing in my free time. So,
yeah.
Shout out to all video games out there for helping keep us sane. Even in general, like even without COVID, like games in general are an escape for a lot of people, and I think it's really good that people who are working 80 hours a week on some months to make these things for us, it's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's been awesome. I've been reconnecting with people that I hadn't talked with in a bit too, and doing stuff. I've started binging games that I didn't expect to be binging with friends. Like I've jumped back into Rocket League because I've been missing that little competitive itch in like sports because I normally play soccer like once a week, and so that became like my. Oh, he's doing it. It's happening.
No, that's just cranberry juice.
Oh, okay. Some strange colored cranberry juice.
Yeah, it's
but
spicy.
But yeah, I started binging stuff like
habaneros.
that. I started playing a lot of Dead by Daylight, which they did a new update, and that was weird. And I've learned to be just trash talking like crazy in that game because it turns out that game is the equivalent of current American politics because you have killer mains versus survivor mains, and it's very complicated. So that was
killers are the Republicans. If you didn't get that,
yeah, I'd say it's like that. Maybe.
Oh, and also
I'm
in
not
the
gonna
game,
get
they're
into it.
killers.
We're
We're a political channel now.
Uh-oh. Don't want that.
Watch out, Young Turks! I'm coming for you.
Oh boy. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of that.
Oh, my mom's calling me.
Oh, what happened to his fit? Wait, Hoda.
He's getting a phone call from his mom.
Yeah, my mom
Stop
called me,
the
so
video.
my thing froze.
Oh, but you're recording on your webcam, right?
No.
Uh-oh. We
Wait.
lost him.
Just wait.
What do I put here? Do I even use this? I guess I just cut this out. It's fine.
Just put a derpy image of Hoda.
Wait,
I'll put his dogs.
You could put his dogs.
Just keep the freeze frame with me.
Photoshop his dog's head onto his body from like a previous frame.
Ah.
You know, I want to keep the
that.
editing real easy in this
Yeah.
episode. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of random games like that, like fun little social things. Among Us with
He's back.
Among Us and Fall Guys was a cool surprise for everyone during this thing, you know. So it's cool to see just everything else kind of even out and be fun. So I've been liking that. I've been playing single player games too to get into it. I've been doing more art stuff myself, so that's been key. Yeah. Have you guys been binging anything yourselves during, like, what's been your go-to like random game? It doesn't have to be from this year, but what have you been doing?
WoW, FIFA.
Binge
I'm
game.
masochistic, I guess. I don't know.
I've been playing. It's tough because like I kind of said before the call, but like I don't even know like. I don't know. I think I played a lot of different games this year with like the whole PC and stuff. Like, I guess if the game that I played the most repetitively, it's still Siege, but let's not talk about
Oh, I know. Why did we not talk about it? Phasmophobia.
Oh, Phasmophobia.
yes.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We should play that again.
I love that game. Okay, that's
we
the game I've
should
been
play
binging.
Yeah, I
would
thought
say
about
that's the
it. I was
game
like,
I've
what
been
have I seen
binging.
Jason
Yeah,
playing?
what the
I'm like,
heck?
oh yeah, because it used to be Siege. We've
It
kind
used
of
to be.
gotten over Siege. It's kind of not fun for us anymore. But Phasmophobia
Yeah, I haven't
is
played it
like
forever.
the indie game that's amazing right now for us.
I love Phasmo, dude. What a great
I
game.
dig it a lot. It's great.
It's just great when I'm in the when Megan's walking around the house and I'm just like, "Hello, who's there?
And
How
she's
old
like,
are you?
it's me.
How old are you?"
Your waifu.
It's like, why are you asking how old I am, honey? I don't get this.
16. What?
What do you want? How old are you? It's a child, and they want to kill me. Oh, okay.
There's only one thing worse than a ghost. Boom. A child.
No.
No.
I miss
The
Vine.
new prison map's been fun. I've liked I like jumping back into it. I think my favorite thing now that I did recently is I played with some other friends, and when I became a ghost, I just grabbed a cup and kept just throwing it in the air. And when you're still alive in the game, you just see the cup only appear when I let go of it as the ghost. So it's just you'll just see nothing here, then just cup.
Yep.
Cup. I'm like, this is fun.
Yeah, that would be my
yeah.
binge-worthy game for sure. Absolutely. In fact, maybe I'll play it tonight. Who knows?
Ooh. Yeah. I think that's been one of the big games, like next to the Among Us and Fall Guys, but I think that one stuck with us the most because it's more our style of game.
Yeah. Yeah, Fall Guys and Among Us was good, but yeah, Phasmophobia. And it's funny because Phasmophobia is definitely like the least. Well, in its defense, it works really well. It's just wonky as hell. But I have honestly had no like real hard technical issues with the game, honestly, that have ruined the experience. You know, so it's like, hey, you don't need to have a really good-looking game to be a good game.
I don't know what you're talking
really
about. When I
good
play
idea.
Fall Guys, everything goes perfectly. I don't totally get grabbed by someone 20 feet away from me and then all of a sudden they're next to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, the tail game. I remember that.
Oh, that
Where you
a
were robbed.
nightmare. That was a nightmare, dude. I played that recently again, and they added whole new maps that are pretty fun, like Don't Break the Ice sort of stuff too, and like a whole winter thing, but it's still bad. Like I'll be running and all of a sudden some guy just grabs me from 10 feet away and I'm like, why am I being slowed? And then it turns out the guy was holding me and I'm like, oh, that's cool. So, oh well.
Those damn beans.
But yeah, this has been a weird year of gaming. It's like it's one of the first years where I haven't really had like a main game or like something that I'm freaking out about. I mean, Cyberpunk obviously was going to be that game, but because of like the weird controversies it ran into with its kind of brokenness for other people, like it faded pretty quickly for me as like a game I'm thinking about a lot. So I found that to be really 2020, man. It's just that kind of year.
Yeah.
Here's to 2021 being slightly better.
Put the alcohol down.
It's
cranberry
just
juice.
soda.
I thought it was cranberry juice. It's cranberry soda.
I don't know what's going on.
All right. Well, we can wrap it up here, guys.
Dove's drinking pure moonshine over there.
I'm drinking from my hydro flask. If you want a container that can
No!
Shut up.
Hydro flask, sponsored by not really.
No.
Hydro
Hydro Flask is sponsored by us.
I want that Nalgene shit, man. I don't want a Hydro Flask.
All right.
Nalgene, hit us up.
Now gene editing.
Algae.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Why are we like this? Why are we like this? I don't...
Why are
All
we
right.
the way that we are?
Well, you know what? Let's never do this again.
This is the end of the channel, boys.
Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Take it away, Jason.
Hey, happy New Year. Stay safe. Thanks for watching Casual Panic.
Happy end of
It's a better way
Yule.
to end this. You'll have a good time.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
I'm just gonna walk away now, and we're just gonna call it a day. See you guys,
All right.
everybody.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Have a beautiful time.